Welcome to the Confidence Igniter podcast, the show where we don't just talk about confidence, we fuel it, ignite it, and transform it into action. I'm your host, Tamiko Green, and today we're exploring what it truly means to be built to last confidence and resilience in action. Confidence isn't just for the sunny days. It's about standing tall when life brings the storms. It's about resilience, the invisible armor that keeps us moving forward no matter what. And today, we're joined by someone who embodies resilience like no other. Our guest speaks not only from his heart, but from the heart of a faraway village in Haiti. In 1983, he arrived in the US with just $5, two shirts, and one pair of pants, and no ability to speak English. While others saw limitations, he saw possibilities. And today, he is an acclaimed speaker who inspires teams at AT&T, Coca-Cola, and the US Army. He's been featured on CBS 60 Minutes and CNN, and he is the author of the award-winning book Kick Your Excuses Goodbye. His incredible journey has been recognized by the city of Smyrna, dedicating a day in his honor. Please join me in welcoming the man who reminds us that no condition is permanent, Renee Godfrey. Welcome to the podcast. I am so happy you are here today, and how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Tameko. Thank you for this wonderful introduction, and I'm ready to share some good tips and advice for those listening and those who are watching as well.
All right, all right. Well, I would love for you to just start out by telling the audience, the viewers, a little bit about yourself and your journey, because your journey is very powerful. I mean, it's to me, it's just a journey of true resilience and confidence.
Yeah, this is talking about resilience. The journey actually started way back in Haiti, in a tiny village, very isolated. When I was only 3 months old, my mom left me in the village, went to Port-au-Prince in the hope of finding a better way to provide for me. And right after she left, several deadly diseases pounded me, and they vowed to end my existence. But I fought, battled, and struggled a lot, and I made it through. That's why we're having this conversation here. Eventually, I left the village, went to Port-au-Prince when I was 7 years old to be with my mom. But in Port-au-Prince, life was just as hard or even harder for me there. Again, fought, battled, struggled, and overcame so many obstacles and challenges. The reality is that's what life is about. Life is about overcoming challenges. If you don't have any challenge to overcome, then I have a question for you. What do you think you'll be the next 5 or 10 years from now? Because who I am today, the person in front of you or the person you are listening to, I am here because of what I went through, my journey through life and everything that I'm doing. You hear in the introduction, the book that I wrote, and all of that is because of the challenges, is because of the problems. And as people hit challenges, people hit problems, but they'll never be anywhere in life without challenges, without problem. The only thing that we need is resilience, right? And well, resilience is very simple. I can define it for you. Is the ability to stay in the race, even though when people around you are suggesting that you walk away, suggesting that you give up, even though you don't see the results. There's no evidence that you're going to succeed at this. You're just pounding, you're not seeing results. And I'm in the process of something like this right now, right? On LinkedIn, I am, I mean, actually, no, now I'm seeing traction. I'm seeing a lot of results maybe that's not a good example. But for somebody, let's say, starting on TikTok or on social media, and they want to make an impact, but the first video, nothing happens. The second video, nothing happens. The third video, nothing happens. And three or four, 10 videos, nothing happens. And then they walk away, they quit. Or they start the business. They get one client if they're lucky, or no client, right? And then they walk away, not knowing it's supposed to be like that. That's what the art of starting, that's what it's all about. So resilience demands that you stay in the race, even though you are not seeing the results. They're not coming fast enough. Just hang in there. I can guarantee you, if you're watching me or listening to me, I can give it to you in writing, because I've got the T-shirt to prove it to you, right? I can give it to you in writing. You will succeed if you stay with it. If you keep fighting a good battle, you will eventually succeed. But you have to stay with it. For some people, it takes shorter, probably 6 months or a month or 1 year. But some it may be 2 or 3 years, and you can't really uh, what would I say, that you can't really compare yourself with other people. You know what, Tamiko? We don't start in the race in the same position. We don't start in the race with the same advantages. Like me, right? From a tiny village in Haiti, all the way back there, poverty and diseases. And I came to the United States and I said, I want to be a motivational speaker. And the little voice said, well, you need to learn English first. Right? Yeah. Why don't you learn English first before you become a motivational speaker? Um, yeah, I didn't go to high school. I still don't. I don't have a high school diploma. I didn't go to high school. I didn't go to college, universities. I don't have connections. I came with $5, two shirts, one pair of pants, didn't speak English. I was a janitor in Miami and all of that. So, according to many statistics, I'm not even supposed to be on a big stage speaking in front of large audiences, or I'm not supposed to be the author of a book. Uh, However, there's one thing I have going for me, it's resilience. I'm going, uh, before you get to the next your next question, I remember watching Will Smith in an interview. He was talking about he was talking about, he said, nobody works harder than me in my field. That's what he knows. He said, if you put me on a treadmill with another guy on two treadmills, and then it's a we have to compete to see who's going to give up. He said, I would have to bleed on the treadmill before I would have to be dead, like drop dead, right? Before you can call it I quit, because I will not quit. I'm gonna work harder and harder. A moment ago when I said we don't start in the same position in the race, the same
Mm-hmm.
advantages in the race. However, I can work harder than the next guy, like a lot harder than the next guy, right? I can go to sleep very late. I can wake up very early. If the other guy is working like probably 7 to 8 hours, I can work 12, 14 hours or 15 hours, whatever it takes. And that's what it takes to win in life. It's what are you willing to put in it, and then the resilience to stay in the race. I know I'm talking too much, but you go ahead.
No, no, I like it. I like it. No, because as you were talking, I was just thinking of like how a lot of times we start things, and because we don't see any traction, we give up, or we allow other people to speak into our ears and tell us, well, it'll never happen, or just see it as a hobby. And so when you see something as a hobby, you pick it up when you want to, you put it down and, forget about it. So just being able to stay in the race, just being able to keep going. And when I read your book, I was being challenged with something. And after reading, like, I'm like, wait a minute. He came here with $5, two shirts, one pair of pants. Come on. And no ability to speak English. I'm like, You do not have a storm. You just have a 5 miles an hour wind blowing. Girl, you got this, you know? And so it was just inspiring to me and so many other people that, when they see this, just knowing that all I got to do is keep moving forward. But my question to you is, what do you say to those people that look at you and say, okay, that was your story, but my story is different? I didn't. I'm here in the U.S., but I didn't have my family or my friends. Everybody turned their back on me. I find myself, near homelessness. What do I do? I have no resources. How do I overcome? What do I do? What do you say to that person that gives you all of that?
Okay, great question. Thank you for the question. A lot of people say it is what it is, right?
Hmm.
But it is not. It is what it is. It is what you say it is. So I'm going to take my time with this. Whatever you say it is, that's what it is. So when people come to me for coaching and they start describing their situation, I can see the victim mindset. I can see that they have given up. So if you give up in your mind, in your head first, right? That's where it all starts. That's where the battle starts. There's um there's a biblical verse. To me, anybody can take just that one verse and become massively successful with it. You can really build your entire foundation with this verse. It's Isaiah 55:11, and it talks about, so are the words that comes out from my mouth. And you know it, and those of
Yes,
you, you know
yes,
what I'm talking about. They will
yes.
not come back void to me. Okay, right now, as you are listening to me, as you are watching me, you are saying some things to yourself. And I promise you, I guarantee you, they will not come back void to you. So if you say to me, well, it's good you came to the United States and you had to do that, and here you are, but I don't have any support. I don't have any friends. My parents are not supporting me. You have all of this going on, which I call stories, right? I mean, how am I supposed to make it? Okay, that's exactly what you're going to get back. Your words will never come back void to you. They shall come back to accomplish that which you send them. Definitely, right? The first thing you have to do is to change your self conversation, your inner conversation, what you are saying to yourself. We are stuck. We are where we are exactly because that's where we want to be. Because it's like a self fulfilling prophecy. We literally predicting our future by what we are thinking in the moment right now. If you're thinking this is hard, yes, of course it is hard. If you're thinking, I don't think I will succeed at this, you will not succeed at this. That's what you are thinking. That's what you are creating. That's your reality. So your reality is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Your reality is not reality at all. It's the way you see things, and that's how you can interpret it. But it's not really. I was just sharing with somebody. How do you explain two kids growing up in the same family, same father? One became a doctor, the other one ended up being in jail, in and out of jail, in and out of jail. They are interviewing both of them. They both say, the first one say, how did you become a doctor? Well, with a father like mine, who is an alcoholic, an abusive father, I didn't have a choice. I didn't want to be like my father. Then the other one said, when they asked the other one, how come you always going to jail and your brother is a doctor? He said, what do you expect? Growing up with a father like mine, who was an alcoholic, an abusive father, I didn't have a choice. I just followed his footsteps. See, same situation, all right, exact same situation, but two different stories. Two different
Yes.
stories. So if you change your story, you instantly change your situation, your life. Now, I'm not saying that money is going to come from the heaven and fall into your laps, but the actions that you take every single day will be different because of what you are saying to yourself in the moment. It's not what's happening to you, it's what you are saying to yourself about what is happening to you in the moment that's going to determine whether you stay stuck or whether you move forward or whether you move to the next level. So All you have to do, Renee, it's that simple. It's that simple. It's called the observer effect. In psychology and science and all of that, the way you look at anything changes the very thing you are looking at. Let me share some thing else really quick for you. A company in the United States wanted to expand a shoe company. They make shoes. They wanted to expand their territory. That was way back before we had the internet, before we even had a telephone. So they sent two salesmen to Africa to explore some new territories for so they can sell some shoes. When they got there, the first one sent a telegram to the company, and he said, "Send me a ticket. I want to come back right away." They asked him why. He said, "People are not wearing shoes here, so we're not gonna sell shoes. It's a waste of time." At the same moment, the other salesperson sent a telegram, crank up the factory, make shoes because people are not wearing shoes here. We're gonna sell a lot of shoes. Two people, same situation, right? It's the way you look at it that's going to determine whether you stay stuck or whether you keep moving ahead or whether you succeed or whether you don't succeed. That's basically. So in essence, to your question, it starts right up here. Right up here. So are the words that come out from your mouth. They will not return void. And those words, they are I created a video on LinkedIn, Tamiko, yesterday. No, was it today? And basically, what I was sharing with the people, it was exactly about this, right? The words that we say to ourselves. I said in the video, if you had a roommate who would say to yourself the things you say about yourself and to yourself every day, "I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I don't think I can succeed, I don't think I will get this." If you had a roommate who would say some of those things to you, who would put you down as you put yourself down in your head, you probably would kick that roommate out. You probably say, "I don't want this roommate," right? Okay, why do we allow these voices, roommates in this room, in our head, rent free, not paying rent? And then they keep torturing us every single day, make us feel less than, not good enough for anything. Some people want to start a podcast like yours. Do you know they've been thinking about it for what? 5 years, 10 years, 2 years. They are afraid they're not good enough. Why? What am I going to ask? Don't worry about all of that. Just start it. Just start. When I started speaking, I knew nothing about anything. I just started. Okay, but maybe it's naive. I was naive. I'm like, duh. I mean, everybody's speaking, running their mouth. They're paying their money, making a living speaking. I was a janitor in Miami. I washed cars on the streets. I did everything, and now, what the heck? Let me try speaking too.
No,
I
I
said, "What's
know.
the secret?" There's no secret. Just start it. Oh, here's the thing, Tamiko. All right, I know I'm talking too much. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. All right, how it's going to happen is never your business and should
True.
not be your business. The how. Okay, stop figuring out how. All you need to do is to come with the what. Okay, you declare and decree a thing. You remember the words that come out of your mouth, they will never return void. When I was a doorman in Atlanta, okay, I decided, well, first of all, I was parking cars, and I would notice books on the back seat of the cars that I was parking. And I'm like, okay, those are the books those people are reading. That's why they're so rich, they're so successful. That's why they're staying in this hotel, driving those fancy cars. So I'm going to buy these books. I'm going to start reading them. And one of the books said, "You can speak for a living." I'm like, what the heck? I've tried everything else in the United States. Let me try this speaking thing too. I said, "I'm going to be a motivational speaker." Who said it? Who said it? I did, right? I did.
Yes.
Didn't I?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My words will never return back void to me. Guaranteed. I tell people all the time, what are you saying right now? Do you know what are you creating? You are literally creating your future by the words you are saying to yourself every single day. You say the right words, somehow God, providence will send all the right people, all the right books, all the right information on your path because of what you are saying to yourself every single day. Now, you know me about meditation, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm not going to get into meditation, but when I meditate, that's what I'm doing. I'm literally creating my future. The biggest weapon that we have is called imagination. That's the biggest
Yes.
nation that there is. Imagination. If you can imagine it, if you can feel it, if you can see it, if you can touch it and taste it, the faster you can do that, the faster you manifest whatever you want. All right, I'm gonna be quiet now.
And,
What?
and I want to just go back to something that you said, and I never even thought about it this way. But you said if you had a roommate and that roommate was saying all kinds of bad things about you, calling you all kinds of names, you know what? You would literally be like, you know what? I'm sorry. Either you go or I go. One of us leaving this place. But we allowed the roommate in our head to say, "Oh, you can't do that. That'll never happen for you." And yet we just go right on down the street with that roommate instead of kicking that roommate out because they're renting space for free. And you are so right. And then I think about, when I was getting started with the podcast and I had people to tell me, oh, you got to do this and you got to, it's going to take a while. You know what I said? I said, nope, you know what? I'm just going to jump in the water and learn how to swim while I'm in there so I don't drown.
I remember
Because,
when you put your conference together, right? They ignite your confidence. I'm sorry, I'm butchering the name. The what's it called? The conference. What was it? Confidence igniter.
yes,
So, but the point is, you just said I'm going to put an event together, and I'm like, okay, go ahead, do it. Show me you can do it. And it's just like, bam, bam, I got my location. Bam, bam, I've got this. I've got my invitation. I got this speaker. I got that speaker. I got this speaker. I got that speaker. Before you know it, right?
yes,
What's happening? Okay. Okay. So, but if you had waited, but by the way, it's because you told yourself you could do it. That's all there is to it. You told yourself, oh, yeah, I'm up for this challenge. I'm going to do it. I remember when you said,
yes,
I'm up for this challenge. I'm going to do it. And that's all it takes. And then the
yes,
rest will just happen. That just like your podcast. A lot of people say, "Well, you're not gonna podcast. It's just like it's a crowded market. So many people. Blah, blah. So what? So what?
yes,
Okay, uh, but at least I know I'm making a difference. This morning, let's talk about stories because you have an incredible story, and then it's important that people who are listening to this or watching this, it's important that they recognize that their story can set people free. All right,
yes,
your story can set people free. Um,
yes,
the thing about stories, they are therapeutic. Here's the thing about being a perfectionist, right? A lot of people are not sharing their story because they're not polished enough, they're not perfect enough, or if they are like me, probably they're still learning English. Okay, the thing is, right now there are millions of people around the world who are suffering, they are hurting. Your story will set them free. Your story will relieve the pains, the suffering for them. But you are not sharing your story. You're not on social media. You don't have a podcast. Uh, you say, Brady, well, I don't have really much to say. Look, people are not looking for your perfection. They're not looking for you to be they're not looking. Okay, so your definition of success is your definition of success. So maybe success for you is to live in a mansion, to drive a certain car, to travel to Hawaii. So all these things you want to do, that's your success. That's your personal definition of success. That's your personal definition. The people who are waiting for you, they don't care about your definition of success. You know what they care about? They want to know, okay, how did you get to where you are right now? That's simple. Wherever you are right now, okay, you are ahead of millions of people. And people want to know, how did you get there? They just want to take, okay, so if you're 5 steps ahead, They want to know, how do I get there? 5 steps ahead. They're not looking for your perfection. They don't care about your dream. They don't care about your goals, or your definition of success. They just want to be where you are. That's all. If you can show me how to get from way back there to where you are, that's okay. Do whatever you want with your life. That's okay. A lot of people think like, I'm not smart enough. I don't know much enough. I don't have anything to say. My story is not all that exciting. I don't really know how to speak. That's okay. Just start. How you gonna?
Yes.
There's a saying that says you don't have to be good to start, but you have to start to be good.
Yes.
That's simple,
Yes.
right? How, you, Tamiko, you should have seen me, my first speech for Toastmasters International. It was an icebreaker. I was like shaking. The lectern was like, and I was supposed to only say, "Hey, I'm Rene Godefroy. I'm from Haiti. I have my mother has 3 kids, my sister, my brother, and blah, blah, blah." That's it. It's a nice. It's just like a very simple thing. You talk about yourself, and that's it. When they called me, first of all, I spent the whole night thinking about it, feeling anxiety about it for nothing, right? Because
Yes.
it's not like people were going to judge me. When I got
No.
there, I held the lectern. It was like shaking. I rattled. Blah, 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 blah. I don't even remember what I said. I was so bad. Some of the speeches I gave when I first started speaking in Atlanta, quite frankly, I feel like sometimes I need to give them the check back. Say, here's your money. I wasn't that good, you know. I know I messed up a lot, but here's your money, right? Right? But look, I had to do a lot of bad speeches to get to the good speeches.
Yes.
You have to start. Start
Yes.
now. You'll be good eventually. But you got to work harder than most people. That's what it takes. And you got to stay in the race. Resilience, baby.
And I just want to share a short story here is that when you said you gotta stay in the race, you gotta work harder. Is I actually also had dropped out of high school. And so my thought process was I gotta work harder than the one that stayed in high school and graduated. I gotta been 10 times harder than the one that went to college. I have to give it everything I got and then some. Okay. And that was me. I mean, eventually I went back and got my GED, but however, I was determined, and nothing stops a made up mind. Okay, I don't care what you're going through. You can be in the worst storm. You can be in a category 5. You can call it a hurricane, tsunami, whatever. But nothing stops a made up mind. I'm coming through regardless too. I'm coming through. This gonna work for me. Now it might didn't work for you, but it's gonna work for me. And so that's why I felt like, this podcast in itself, you're right, there are a lot of podcasts out there. But you know what? There's none called the Confidence Igniter. And if it is, it's,
Hello.
it's not Tamiko Green, the host, okay? So it's okay because I feel like what I bring, what my guests bring, will impact the masses. So you have to start somewhere. If not, to me, I was talking to someone earlier and I said, they tell this story about what happened when you get to the end of your road and then your dreams and goals and come and visit you, but I dramatized it. I said, your dreams and goals come and visit you while you're sitting on your deathbed, and they don't just look at you and say if you had or no. They say, you know what, you remember how you used to go around and tell everybody I'm a giving person? I give you the shirt off my back, but yet you wouldn't give me the right time of day to allow me the opportunity to step on the stage of life, so that way when you left I could still keep speaking for us. And a lot of times we don't realize what we have within us, and if we only can muster up the confidence, only be resilience. And I look at resilience as bounce back power, because when you're able to bounce back through all the adversities, life is full of storms. You just got to be ready to dance in them and go through them. And so I just feel like having this opportunity, gives, when viewers listen, it will impact their life. And like you said, whatever you believe, whatever you put out there, your words will not come back to you void. Now, somebody else's will, But yours, when you say it, it's coming back to you. So be careful of what you say. If you want to fly higher, say I want to fly higher, not it can't happen for me, because all things are possible.
Yeah.
I remember, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no. Go ahead. I'm listening. Keep going.
No, and I was just gonna say one thing that I got from you when I remember when you told me, you said always remember when you standing in a pool of power. No matter where you go, you're standing in power. So when you speak, power is speaking through you, and that's the Holy Spirit. And I was like, wow. So I've always remembered that. So wherever I'm at, I always say, you know what? I got power surrounding me. I got power in me, even when I'm going through. That's okay. I'm fine. I'm going through. I'm not going to get stuck in the tunnel. I'm going through the tunnel. So, but I know you got something to add on there.
You you got to grow through what you're going through. You got to grow through what you're going through, right? And then
Yes.
something else about your podcast, there's a conference attached to it. So your podcast is
Yes.
not just a podcast, it's because it's like a marketing tool for your conference so you can invite people to come to your conference in Atlanta. Am I right?
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so, so,
Yes.
so there's a purpose, there's a goal. See, without a vision, can I finish this? The people
Yes.
perish. Most people
Yes.
start, but there's no vision. All right. They don't see where they are going. Okay. So when you don't have a vision for yourself, a vision of this is going, a vision is nothing but a final destination. This is the final destination for me. That's where I want to arrive. When you have that vision, when the obstacles come, when the challenges come, when the naysayers start discouraging you, you will keep your eyes on the vision, focus on the vision, because they can't see where you are going, only you can see it. Okay. So without a vision, you will perish. Create a vision for yourself. When you get discouraged, pull your vision and then start reading it to yourself. Start seeing the Ignite your confidence conference. Start seeing where it happened. Think of the thousands or even millions of the people, young ladies around the world that are coming to this conference, whose lives you are going to impact. You're going to give them
Yes.
the confidence back. So whenever you see like, oh, maybe only 5 downloads on this podcast, maybe 10 downloads, it doesn't matter because the right person, all you need is one person, just one person. If you can impact that one life, that's all that matters. It's not about the numbers. Okay. People say, man, I create videos. This guy started a YouTube channel some time ago. And then he called me to talk to me. He said, my channel is not working. I only get like 55 views on my videos or 35 views on my videos. I said, really? I said, so if I give you an audience of 55 people, would you be willing to speak to that audience? He said, yeah. I said, that's what it is. 55 people is an audience of 55. 100 views is an audience of you see, when I started going viral on TikTok, like one video with 1 million views, that's an audience of 1 million. Do you understand what
Yes.
I'm saying? That's how you have to see yourself, is a story you are telling it, yourself. Out of the 65 people, the right person, God will put the right, can I say God on your podcast?
Yes, you can.
Well, it's true, you know what I'm saying? God will make, God will put just that one person in the 30, 60 views. And then before you know it, it happens. God will trust you with a few to see how you are a good steward. With the few, are you going to complain? With the few, are you going to moan? With the few, are you going to groan? And then you say, oh, that's how ungrateful you are. I just gave you 30 views and you think that's not enough. And then you want me to give you more? How are you going to handle more? See, that's what it is. If you give thanks, rejoice in all things. I'm not preaching because
It's okay because I'm loving it. I'm sure somebody else is too.
Listen, in all things, that means 30, thanks. Rejoice in all things. Like very little. This guy, I remember, came to pressure wash the house. And then he came, I got him from one of the apps. I don't remember if it was Offer Up, one of the apps. I said, "How's the app doing for you?" He said, "It's not doing much." I said, "How many clients have you gotten from it?" He said, "About 7 in 2 years." I said, "Okay." I said, that's very interesting. I said, "Let's have a conversation about that." You mean to tell me you got 7 clients from, so after you did the pressure washing, what happened? What did you do? He said, "Nothing." I said, "Huh, okay." Do you understand those 7 people? They were like your starting point. You could actually make $1 million from those 7 people. I said, when you were in, that means you went to 7 neighborhoods. It's subdivisions with so many houses. Every one of them is just like you do the billboard, you're doing this one house. You take the address, you do your little flyer, you bring your kid, whatever, go to all the mailboxes and say, "I'm doing this house," and then it's you can go look at it. The owner is willing to give you a reference for me, and this is whatever. Since I'm in the neighborhood, I'll give you a super discount that you can't refuse, just so I can get more businesses in this neighborhood. So out of 7 neighborhoods, I promise you, you'll probably get like another like 2 or 3 from each if you
Yes.
did it right. All that's probably 27, 21 more. But think about it. What if after you did those 21, you send a Starbucks gift certificate, $10, or let's say $5 with a note, with a note, a heart full of gratitude, right? Thanking them for giving you the opportunity to build your business, to make a way for yourself and your family. A token from my heart. Here's a gift card. Please, I would love to get some referral from you. That's one step, right? Then next year, that I don't remember anybody who ever pressure washed my house. They call me next year and say, it's that time of the year. Are you ready for another one? Never. Next
Right.
year, you call all of them, but they never hear from you. You just like, and you're complaining to God. You're saying like, it's not working. I'm struggling. Do you see what I mean? So the way you look at
Yes.
anything, the way you look at it, you remember the two men they sent to Africa, salesmen to sell shoes. Remember them? That's the
Mhm.
same thing. The way you
Way
look
to
at it.
look at it.
I've seen caterers. I went to a wedding and I'm talking to the caterer and I'm saying like, do you understand? Do you understand the power of having 150 people in a room and you are preparing the meals and everything? And do you understand how you can literally work your whole magic here out of 150 people to get more business? Every time you listen, every time you're delivering your service, you are auditioning. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to slow down. Every time you are delivering your service, you are auditioning. Every time I'm speaking on a stage, I'm auditioning. You see right now, right here, I am auditioning. That's what I'm doing. If you think about it this way, I'm auditioning for the next thing. And then now, the way you treat that one customer, that one client that you are servicing will determine how far you will go in business. It's all I'm telling you, it right here. Mindset is everything. It starts with the right mindset. I'm gonna shut up here. I'm gonna shut up. All right, you go.
But no, no, you are right. And just it's how a lot of times people see things, how we see things. If you see it in one dimension, that's all you get. And it's really, I call that being in the box. A lot of times we're in the box. Like you said, if all you got is 35 views, well, just think if you was at a theater and you had 35 people to show up. Would you be mad and walk off the stage and say, "Oh, it's just 35, forget it"? But that is an audience. It's a virtual audience. So it's like when we can look beyond ourselves. You know, that small voice that says, well, you not making it, you ain't doing it, you might as well shut it down. No, I need to speed it up. What are you talking about? Shut it down. No, I gotta keep going. I'm doing something.
Here's something, Tomeka. The 35 is just now. Uh, but people will keep coming, keep coming. As I'm speaking to you right now, I am, I am like, how would I say that? I am omnipresent. You know why?
Right.
Right now, as I'm
Right.
speaking to you right now, there are people watching me on LinkedIn right now. There are
Yes.
people watching me on TikTok right now. There are people watching me on YouTube right now. Thousands of people watching me when I'm sleeping, when I'm in bed. As I'm speaking to you, they are watching me. That's omnipresence right there. People
Yes.
everywhere are watching me when I'm minding my business. Why? Because I create that one piece of content and I put it out there. Maybe when I put it out
Yes.
there, there were not that many views, but over time, people, it's evergreen content. Like this podcast here, it's evergreen content, right? Some people
Yes.
come and listen to it and say, "Oh, this guy, this Haitian guy with this funny accent, he sounds pretty good. Let me send it to my cousin. My brother needs to hear that. My uncle needs." And shame on you if you hear it, you get something out of it. You don't forward it to somebody. You don't send it to your brother, to your sister, to your cousin. Shame on you, right?
Yes.
Because what is this? Coincidence is God's way of staying anonymous, right? It's not by coincidence you are here. You are listening to this. The point is, you might not even be listening to it for yourself. It may be for a cousin. It may be for a sister, a brother. So do your thing. Share it with people, as many people as you can. You know why? Because that's how karma works. When you share good things to people, more good things come to you.
That
All right?
is true. That is true. That is true. And it's all about sharing. It's all about sharing until we start to share. And that's the thing. A lot of times we want to keep things to ourselves versus looking at, you know what, the more I share, the more I give, you will start to see yourself grow. Because as they say, how they say it, a closed mouth can't get fed. So if you never open your mouth, nothing is ever going to come your way. You're going to get what you give. If you give nothing, nothing shows up.
One of my videos that went viral on TikTok was very simple. I created a video. I said, people are scrolling in the feed, right? Why aren't you creating your own videos? Are you scared? Are you afraid? Let me share with you how to create your first video. I said, take your cell phone, turn it on, and look at it and say, I'm scared, I'm afraid. But I watched this guy. He said, create a video, a bad video. Make sure it's a bad video and put it out there anyway. Guys, if you like it, if you're giving some encouragement, I'll create another one. Just do that and put it out there. Millions of views, right? People just like flocking and love this video because I just challenged them. Why are you the consumer, always the consumer consuming? Why can't people consume you instead of you consuming them? Why aren't you creating a video? Why aren't you creating a podcast? Why aren't you creating something so at least people are watching you? Just like I say, people are watching me right now. I can open LinkedIn right now for you. I created 5 videos this week. People are just watching those videos because every day I put a video. They're watching them on YouTube, on TikTok. The point is they are consuming me while I'm creating. There comes a point where you have to create yourself to stop consuming, stop being just a consumer,
Right.
so that others can consume you.
Right. That is so true. That is so true. So, well, as we're getting toward the end of our time, our show, what kind of advice would you like to leave? And if someone would like to get in contact with you, can you also give your information just in case?
Yeah, it's you see my name on the screen. That's where you'll
Yes.
find me anywhere on LinkedIn. Type Rene Godofori anywhere. But right now, I have to say I spend my time on LinkedIn. So if you want to find me, you want to DM me, you've got to go to LinkedIn. That's my preferred platform. Um, Really quick, let me share with you why I'm spending more time on LinkedIn. For a long time, I was on TikTok creating a lot of videos, hundreds of videos. And what it occurred to me, my business is B2B business. I do coaching too. I sell coaching and I coach people. That's no problem, right? But my primary business is speaking on stages, and B2B, business to business, that's on LinkedIn. That's where it is, because 80 to 85% of all business transactions in the United States, they happen on LinkedIn. So B2B, business to business, that's where you need to be on LinkedIn. Hear me out. If you're in business, it's a B2B, business to business, even business to consumer. It's fine to B2C, right? So Facebook, B2C, right? LinkedIn, TikTok, B2C, Instagram, the same thing, business to consumer. However, if you want to do business, you want to get big accounts, corporate accounts, you want to do business with, you go to LinkedIn. And of course, there's a whole strategy on how to succeed on LinkedIn. It's not the same thing. So there's something, Tamika, that I call content context. Okay. When you create the content, if it's in the wrong context, which is the platform, so if you are creating your content for a business audience, but you are on TikTok, when people come to TikTok, they come to for entertainment, they come for education also, but it's a different context. On LinkedIn, when people are on LinkedIn, it's all business. That's all they're thinking about. LinkedIn, B2B business, 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 because that's what the platform is for. Business, business, business. So I decided I was going to take my content to that context. Make sense?
Okay,
All right.
it
So for
does.
anybody looking at me, Tameko Green, well, first of all, hopefully you will invite me to speak at your conference. First of all,
Yes.
if they want to see me in person, they want to shake hand with me, they have to go to the Confidence Igniter conference. All right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I believe it's confidenceigniter.com or Tamiko Green. Just go to tamikogreen.com to get in touch
Yes.
with Tamiko Green. All right. So if you want to shake hand with me, you want to buy my book, you want to get an autographed copy of my book right there. Um, Come to the conference, Confidence Igniter conference. When is it? I think it's in February, or isn't it?
It's in actually in April.
Oh, that's right, in
It's
April.
in April.
April. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In April, which is a good time to come to Atlanta. Hey, we look forward to seeing you. Go ahead, go to Tamiko Green and then send her an email. Fill out that form. Come to the conference. So, because if you don't come to the conference, I'll be mad. Just saying, right?
Right.
Anyway, I really enjoyed this conversation.
Yes, I have to. And thank you so much for coming and for impacting the audience, cuz I'm telling you, you surely impact me. So I know if you impact me, you impact others. And so hopefully I will get the opportunity to see you again on the Confidence Igniter podcast, and definitely at the conference. So I will see you soon.
All right, great.
All right.
Thank
Okay.
you.